Development. If you are getting this recording, it means my my daughter's not feeling yet the greatest. So, not to worry, we can pick up where we left off with our learning yesterday. So, I'm just going into Canvas and I can see week at a glance. Here's Friday's agenda. Quick reminder to you before we get into things, your menu plan. And if you have lesson plan fixes that you're wanting to make, please make sure you get those taken care of and submitted by next Thursday, October 28th. Again, that's going to be a hard deadline. So if things are not turned in by 3 o'clock next Thursday, October 28th, then your grade will stay as is in PowerSchool. Now, that's not to be mean. It's meant to practice good real life skills because there's going to be hard deadlines in the future that you're going to have to meet. And if you don't, there's not going to always be grace given. Okay. So this is just a good chance for us to practice meeting those deadlines. So with that, we're going to get into our learning for today. If you have your notes from yesterday for physical development, go ahead and open those up because today we are going to answer the question, why is physical activity important for a child's overall health? And I'm going to give you a list of ideas. I need you to choose 3 that you like, okay? And that's what you're going to put into your notes. So go ahead and take a minute, get those notes out. And while you're doing that, I'm going to switch my screen over to this one. So here you can see a bulleted list, and this is coming from the textbook, of reasons why physical activity is important for kids. Okay? Because when we get to the assessment, heads up, I'm going to ask you why physical activity is important for kids. And the last thing I want you to tell me is simply, because it's healthy for them. Because it's good for them. Well, yeah, I think we can agree on that. I want you to understand why. Why? Remember, because we're being intentional. Why is it healthy for them? Why is it good for them? Okay, so this is just a list to get us started. And again, you're picking 3. Okay, so let's get into this. So first reason on the list is because it improves cardiorespiratory fitness. Okay, what does that mean? You're helping their heart health, and you're helping their hearts to be healthy for everyday basic things. I want you to think just basic things because this doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I can go run a mile now, or oh, I can go work out. No. We're talking about heart health to be able to get out of bed in the morning, to brush your teeth, to go downstairs and get breakfast, to get on a school bus to get to school, to walk to your classroom, to go play on a playground. Just basic everyday things that sometimes we take for granted. Yeah, we want to have good cardiorespiratory fitness for those things. Okay, so that's the first reason. Second reason is because it's going to build strong bones and muscles. 3 to 5-year-olds, it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of repetition to do some of those basic skills like walking and running and jumping and skipping, cutting with scissors, gluing with a glue stick, coloring with crayons. A lot of things, again, that we take for granted. So if we can get them doing physical activity, it's going to build those bones and build those muscles, and they're going to be able to meet those milestones, and they're going to achieve those movements as well. Another reason is it's helping develop their motor skills. So anything to do with gross motor, fine motor, large muscles, small muscle movements, physical activity is going to help with that. Again, we just talked about that, repetition, getting them up and moving, even their hand-eye coordination. It's going to help develop those skills. Another reason is that it can help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, which is a really big deal because we know that some of our 3 to 5-year-olds are already experiencing things like this, and we want to do what we can to help alleviate some of those symptoms they're feeling. And maybe I'll pick on anxiety here. Maybe when a kid gets all of this extra energy in their body and they don't know what to do with all of it, what if that's a trigger for their anxiety and it does start to put them into high gear? Okay, well, if we know that, then let's get them up and moving and burn off some of that energy so it doesn't become a trigger later on in their day and kicking their anxiety into gear, right? So if there's anything that we can do to reduce those symptoms, let's go ahead and do it. Another reason would be to reduce the risk of developing health conditions such as heart disease. I want you to think of what you've learned in health classes before, anything to do with diet-related diseases. Well, yeah, physical activity is going to help reduce your likelihood of getting any of those, right? Now, in the past, we would assume that diet-related diseases happen when we're 50, 60, 70 years old and older, right? Not so much anymore. We're seeing some of these things, such as heart disease, trickling down into 20-year-olds, teenagers, even elementary school ages. That's scary. Oh my gosh. So if we know that physical activity can help reduce those risks, then let's do it. Another reason for physical activity is that it's going to help kids to focus when they're learning. If you've ever been in a room with 3 to 5-year-olds, you can tell when they are getting squirmy and they've got all this energy and they just don't know what to do with it. I mean, literally, they don't know what to do with it. And unfortunately, we would start labeling those kids as behavior kids, like, oh my gosh, why can't you just sit still? No. If we're being intentional and we understand ages and stages, they can't sit still because their body needs to move. So we need to plan many times throughout their day where they have a chance to get up and move and to get some of that energy worked out. That way, when we do have those sit down moments where they need to be doing an activity and learning, they're going to be able to focus a heck of a lot better. Okay. Another one that we have, and it seems that, it's playing music right now. Sorry, let me pause that. I had some stress-free music going. Another reason why physical activity is important is because it's going to help them develop healthy habits at an early age and understanding why those habits are important. Because for anyone who develops a habit, once you start it, it's hard to quit it. So can you imagine if we start those healthy habits and that's what becomes a habit for them? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And then they're going to continue doing healthy things the older they get. Yeah, let's do regular physical activity. Another reason for physical activity is that it does help build their self-esteem. Simply because imagine if you're trying to teach them how to cut with a pair of scissors and they finally did it. Oh my gosh, that's a huge, huge celebration for them. And of course they're going to have pride and they're going to feel good about themselves. Yeah, that's going to build that self-esteem. So then the next time we do an activity where maybe they're not so sure or maybe they don't have it quite mastered yet, can you imagine? They're going to have a lot more willingness to try because they're believing in themselves, because they've been able to be successful in the past. Oh yeah, this is like a whole chain reaction of things here. So physical activity can help with that, and let's do it. Building self-esteem, that's a pretty big deal. Another reason would be because it's going to help them sleep at night. Anytime we can get that extra energy burnt out of their bodies to help calm their system down, they're going to have a lot more restful sleep, which means they're going to have a lot better moods in the morning. They're going to be a lot more willing to do different activities and to participate. And there's all kinds of things just based off of like good sleep the night before. So yeah, let's do some regular physical activity and make that happen. And then last but not least, they're better able to handle physical and emotional challenges. So when something comes up, well, guess what? They've got that better self-esteem built up like we talked about before. And now when a curveball is thrown their way, they're going to have a better opportunity of trying to work through those situations because they can go off of past experiences and understand like, yeah, maybe if I didn't get something the first time, I can get it this time. I'm going to give myself grace. Like I don't have to just get it right the very first time I do something, because with this age group, that's highly unlikely. Lots of repetition, lots of practice, lots of opportunity for trying to learn these skills. That's a really big deal. Okay. And if it's going to help them to problem solve in the future, yep, let's go ahead and do it. Okay. So all of these reasons that we've just discussed are why physical activity is so important for kids and for all the rest of us too, because even being older, there's still going to be things that we are trying to learn and develop and grow and know how to do. So physical activity, it's pretty important for any age group. Okay. So with that said, Hopefully you got 3 written down. And with the rest of our time today, we're going to go back to Canvas. And if I look here, okay, so we wrote 3 down. Okay, so last, what we're going to do is we're going to continue finding our gross motor activities for our Google Slides. So if you remember from yesterday, we were working with these slide links here. So today the goal is we've got activities for each one of our slides. They're ready to go. That way on Monday when we come back together, we're going to be able to share out these activities. And we want to have so many to be looking at because remember, what we have, it's not always going to be what's best for every single kid out there. One way is not the highway, okay? Like our way isn't going to be the best way every time. So when it comes to these activities, we want to have a whole bunch that we can pick from because what works great for one kid isn't going to work best for the next kid. So let's make sure we have more options so we can find ways to work with that next kid, right? So all of these ideas, it's going to be awesome to pull from in the future. And it's just a great way to keep our minds open to other possibilities. So we're not just tunnel visioned and our way is going to be the absolute best way. Oh, no. We're living in a land of gumdrops if that's the way we're thinking, okay? So keep an open mind. That's very important. So with that said, the rest of the time is yours. Get together with the people you may have been working with yesterday. And I'm excited to see what you find on Monday. Have a wonderful rest of your day and have a good weekend, okay? I'll see you soon. Bye.